Today, crypto prices plummet. The UK's financial regulator lays out new crypto rules, and we profile the crypto company creating a carbon-negative blockchain. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices sliding for a second straight day. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin dropped nearly 7%, trading below $26,000. It hit a fresh 2-month low today as the largest crypto by market cap broke out of its recent tight range this week. Ether fell 4.5%, trading just above $16.50, and Ripple's native token XRP tanked by nearly 14% amid the broad market sell-off. Bitcoin's 7% decline yesterday was its biggest one-day drop since November of last year when crypto exchange FTX collapsed. For the week, Bitcoin is down 11.5%, on pace for its 7th weekly loss in the past 8 and its worst week since November. Ether is down nearly 10% week to date, on pace for its 4th weekly loss in the past 5 and its worst week since May. This week, both Bitcoin and Ether underperformed the stock market. XRP is down more than 20% for the week, on pace for its worst week since November. Okay, sticking with XRP for our top story. A federal judge said the SEC can move forward with trying to appeal her recent groundbreaking ruling pertaining to the token. That's according to CoinDesk, which reported that the regulator can now file a motion that, if granted, would allow the agency to appeal the ruling that Ripple did not violate securities laws in making XRP available to retail traders by putting it on exchanges. The SEC reportedly has until today to file the motion, and if the agency wins its motion, it can then ask an appeals court for permission to file the actual appeal. An SEC spokesperson declined our request for comment. A Ripple spokesperson pointed us to prior statements from its chief legal officer, who said on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the company opposed the request. Finally, crypto companies in the UK must soon comply with the so-called travel rule. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority said on Thursday that crypto businesses operating in the country would be, quote, required to collect, verify, and share information about crypto asset transfers, known as the travel rule. That rule was introduced by the Financial Action Task Force, an intergovernmental body that acts as a watchdog for global money laundering. The regulator set forth several expectations for firms, including compliance with the travel rule when sending or receiving a crypto asset transfer to a firm operating within jurisdictions where the rule is also implemented. This comes as PayPal says it will temporarily stop allowing its UK customers to buy crypto through its platform. In a statement PayPal sent us, the payments giant said the move is a response to new regulatory requirements. Citing an email PayPal sent to customers this week, Reuters reported that the change starts in October. PayPal told us that customers could hold and sell their crypto at any time. All right. For our main story, one of the major criticisms against crypto has been its endless appetite for energy. A growing number of crypto insiders think the answer could come from within the industry, what they're calling the ReFi movement. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan explains.
What comes to mind when you hear the term refi? If you're a homeowner, you might think refinancing your home. But for crypto, it has taken on a whole new meaning. Regenerative finance has been described as the intersection of crypto and climate. It's a financial model that incentivizes community actions to help solve systemic issues like global warming and waste management.
ReFi really is combining the best of decentralized finance, DeFi, with the concepts of regenerative economics and basically having a tool set that creates financial instruments, financial markets, really broadly an economic system that has positive externalities, so brings benefits to people, to their communities, and ultimately to the planet.
Crypto has gained a reputation as being harmful to the planet, as digital assets have been known to require a lot of electricity usage, which can result in greenhouse gas emissions, especially in those communities near mining facilities. In August of last year, the White House estimated the total global electricity usage for crypto assets were between 120 and 240 billion kilowatt hours per year, a range that exceeds the total annual electricity usage of countries like Argentina and Australia. Since then, Ethereum shifted from proof of work to proof of stake, significantly slashing its energy use. But Bitcoin is still an energy hog. A more recent study found Bitcoin mining used 95.58 terawatts per year. Celo, a blockchain protocol that launched on Earth Day 3 years ago, is part of a growing movement hoping to change that narrative. Its founders call Celo the home of ReFi.
Celo is carbon negative, and that's because years ago, the community passed a governance proposal that decided to offset the carbon that the network produces. And so since then, it's been automatically buying carbon offset credits literally every day to offset actually more than the carbon that it contributes to, which is why we say that it's carbon negative. And Celo was really the first network to do this, which paved the way to help change the narrative around blockchains and whether they can be an actual force for good in the environment.
One example of ReFi in action, a project called Sylvie, which is helping to support reforestation efforts in a rainforest in Kenya.
They've created a system that cheaply incentivizes people to plant trees and then for others to go and verify that those trees are there. It's simply by using their phones and taking pictures of the trees and using the GPS on the phone as a way of kind of providing that evidence. And what's really nice about this is what Sylvie is doing in Kenya can be done anywhere in the world because it's built on crypto rails, which means that people are being incentivized and paid with tokens, and that can operate across all borders. That can operate even if someone doesn't have a government recognized ID and might not be able to receive money in a bank account, they can still receive money in a self-custodial crypto wallet, making that design work perfectly anywhere in the world where they choose to deploy it. A project called the Colectivo Guilder, that is a community currency in Curacao in the Caribbean. They're really interesting because they are both incentivizing local spending through this community currency, but the currency itself is also backed by trees and other ReFi assets on the island itself. And so that incentivizes planting of trees in Curacao, in addition to incentivizing local spending. And so it's a really great example of a really compelling ReFi project that is both good for communities, but also good for the climate and good for climate change.
And the ReFi movement has been gaining traction. In fact, in April, several hundred people attended a blockchain climate summit held by Celo in what was called the ReFi House in Austin, Texas. It took place at the same time and in the same city as one of the world's largest crypto conferences, Consensus 2023.
The main goal was to create a space for ReFi builders and regens, as folks like to call themselves, to come together and to share ideas and talk about the work that they're doing.
Definitely a lot of collaborations were formed there.
Alon Shavit visited the ReFi House back in April. He's the CEO of Upright, an acceleration platform for Web3 founders. Its flagship program, what's called Celo Camp, a virtual accelerator for the Celo ecosystem.
The goal of the program is to help founders from all over the world to launch and scale their projects.
He says Celo Camp receives 800 applications a year from startups across different verticals, including DeFi and NFTs.
Over the last 2 years, we've seen a considerable focus from our alumni on building impactful solutions on Celo.
Upright executives say last year, an increasing number of ReFi applications came in, highlighting the growing interest from global builders who are moving into the space. PitchBook has been tracking capital invested in ReFi, with activity peaking in the third quarter of last year when the overall crypto market was still thriving. However, this year, amid the current downturn, investments and the number of deals has dropped.
I love the concept. Whether it's an industry in its own right, I'm always like, let's wait and see how this plays out. But I do think that the increased transparency a blockchain can provide has always provided a mechanism or a means forward to more accountability, whether that's accountability in supply chains, whether it's accountability for how we handle waste, not creating it in the first place, or how we upcycle or recycle or reuse that waste, whether it is creating sustainable patterns of behavior, whether it is engaging in different kinds of grid activity, which we're already seeing, which is pretty exciting. A lot of that is really new. Disrupting the energy industry is a pretty lofty goal, particularly if you're talking about a technological underpinning that's going to do that differently. And you're talking about a governance underpinning via ReFi that will do that differently. There's a lot of incumbents and a lot at stake in that query. So I'm really excited about it. I think it is very, very, very new. And so I always hesitate to land a label on something because that gives it, I think that puts too much pressure on something that is really new. A lot of these experiments are going to fail fast. That doesn't mean there's not something very valuable here and something that we should be giving credit and air to so that it can have the ability to flourish and thrive and hopefully create change that will benefit all of us.
And of course, there are still those that believe crypto is intrinsically bad for the environment, even after events like the Ethereum merge in September of last year. what would you tell those people who are skeptical about crypto or blockchain technology being associated with actually being good for the environment?
First of all, the consensus mechanism itself that is used in the blockchain can really affect the energy efficiency of the blockchain, and actually proof of stake network have been proven to be very energetically effective.
I think right now ReFi means refinancing your house for a lot of people in the world, and regenerative finance certainly in the last year has become a household name within the crypto community, but it will take probably another year or so to really reach the broader demographic. But it's going to happen. I think the systems that people are creating in these ReFi communities are so big and so exciting, so ambitious, that I think a lot of people are now starting to take note.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World this week, but we will be back again on Monday, so we'll see you then.